Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Ready to bet smarter? Get sports betting tips straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I like the Commanders at 3.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
The Wise guys were all over Florida last week, and they're against Florida this week. That's not a common pattern.
I think these teams could score a lot. I would look at the over.
I'm very high on Tampa Bay. I think they can go there and they can win this game.
Subscribe for free to Sports by the Book on YouTube. Your winning edge starts now.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Feels like it was just Monday when we had a double-header game in the NFL, and now we have an inter-conference matchup. Carson Wentz and the Vikings on the road to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Both of these teams 500 or better, but it feels like there's a lot of playoff implications for both of them. The Vikings 3-3, but dead last in a really tough NFC North division. And the Chargers, while they are 4-3, they've only won one of their last 4 games, and that was to a pretty sad Dolphins team. So a lot to break down, and we will get to it. Props, side, total, all of it here on Sports by the Book. And we will get insight from behind the book from our good friend Dwayne Colucci, who will join us any minute now. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, live at the South Point Hotel and Casino. We've got NFL, we've got a college football game, we've got a lot of hockey to get to. But first, I want to bring in Ryan here. I'm Alex White, third-generation handicapper. Follow me on social media at Alex White with 2 E's. Follow Ryan McCormick at Ryan BMC _ on X and anywhere else. Ryan, kind of a dream for overbettors last night. NBA, the first big slate, 10 out of 12 games go over.
Yeah.
Takeaways from the association. And we had 3 hockey games that were pretty good as well.
Yeah, we did have 3 hockey games. Didn't necessarily get the winners in our hockey picks yesterday, but were good games nonetheless. And yeah, had some history on the hardwood. Shout out to OptaStats for some of these, but it was the first time in NBA history that 4 different players had their season or opened their season with a 40 40-plus point performance. Luka Doncic on Tuesday in a loss against the Warriors. Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, and Victor Wembanyama each added a 40-point game last night. Wemby was the first player in NBA history to put together this stat line of 40-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, 3-plus blocks, shooting over 70% from the field, and no turnovers in the game. Wow. So the first player in NBA history to do all of that in the same box score.
Pretty impressive, really. And you mentioned it, of course, the Lakers did lose, and the other three did help find a way to get their team the victory. I remember last year, pretty high on the Spurs, didn't really work out. Is this a year that we think they can take the next step?
Wemby absolutely looks like it. He spent the offseason training. Sean had joked around earlier with monks and stuff. Everybody had seen that, but also going around with Kevin Garnett and just going around learning things from current and former NBA players, Hall of Famers in the NBA, just learning more about the game of basketball. And he's maximizing the most of his length. And so absolutely, I think this is going to be an MVP type year from Victor Wembanyama.
Excited. I know it is tough to handicap and bet on NBA. We'll do our best. We'll also use our resources, of course, Chris Andrews, Dwayne Colucci, Vinny, all of them to help us find the most success. We talk about it all the time, though. It is a great in-game sport to bet on, and maybe player props. I mean, looking at last night, Ryan just went over the 4 players all going over their point props, and 40 plus for them, and then 10 out of 12 games going over the total. So we'll keep an eye on that. But really, I mean, the sports that we love to handicap, NFL, college football, and NHL, and it works out perfect with our guy over at the Rampart. We're going to get his takes now, who had a great week last week, giving us some hockey bets that he did like. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break so we can check everything, and then when we get back, Dwayne Colucci joins us here on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
All right, it is time to bring in our good friend. Make sure and follow him on X at NYBookie. Dwayne gives us live updates from behind the counter, but also his honest opinion if he likes any bets in all sports. He's also a horse racing specialist. We're excited. We love having him on. Go visit him at the Rampart. Race and sports manager Dwayne Colucci. Dwayne, how are you doing today? Any takeaways for you from NBA from the last 2 nights?
Well, it's kind of early, Alex. I mean, I was happy the way my Knicks played last night. They looked efficient, and Wemby looked monstrous. I kind of, that's my under-the-radar team this year. Last year it was Houston. Right. Now this year I'm feeling that San Antonio can make some noise, and they just look dominant at times. So, the first couple of nights we saw without LeBron how the Lakers look as well. They definitely need him on the court. I don't care what his skill set is, his team leadership skills, and what he brings to the table is still very prominent at the NBA level. And I think, the Lakers would struggle without him if he's out for an extended period of time, which he can be. So, the NBA is in its infancy right now, very early on in the season. Plus, you had all these grumblings and trouble today, behind the scenes with Chauncey Billups, Teague, all these guys. And, at times it just becomes upsetting when you have to factor that in at the very, very start and cusp of the season. Nets ownership as well. They've come out and basically said, we're going to tank the whole season. And you saw it play out on the court last night. So, the NBA is a strange animal. That's why I always love to deal with the NHL and, even the NFL at times. It could be a little etchy, but I still enjoy it very much. Most people enjoy the college sports a lot better, but I love the NFL as compared to college football, in my opinion. But, the NBA, it's off to a running start. Now you have this trouble. I hope it doesn't really affect, how they're trying to market the sport, because I think the viewership on that opening night was way up. It was through the roof. It was good to see KD playing for Houston, even though Van Fleet is out for the year. Houston is definitely a top team. They're so well coached. I say that time and time again. And, it's going to be a good NBA season. And you still have SGA out there, Giannis. You got a lot of superstar power. John Morant looked good last night. He was cutting it, slashing. So excited to have the NBA back. We'll definitely have a few NBA picks. And I'm hoping that my Knicks could dominate this, injury-bitten Eastern Conference.
What did I say? He does it all. Fantastic overview from the last two nights. We're going to switch it over to hockey, as you mentioned, a sport that we all really enjoy betting on and definitely watching. Let's start with your team. Coming off a big win last night, the Canadiens, they're now 6-2. Right. And they got to play on a back-to-back. And we know your thoughts about Edmonton, kind of, just rely on those stars. What are you thinking here? They're plus 190 on a back-to-back. Montembeault, he did not play last night, right? So he is available tonight.
Yeah, it was Dobish, and I think Pickard is listed, Alex. So you're not even going to see the Skinner man. So, it's a tough situation. But like we preached, in the shows prior, the back-to-back hasn't been that tolling on teams as it used to be in the past. And Montreal seemed to go through the motions in this game, Alex. But keep in mind, there's a lot of injuries. The injuries are piling up for the Canadians. Laine, that's huge. Goulet, he's been out. I think Laine may even be on LTIR, and Kirby Doc is made out of porcelain. I tweeted that out the other night. I just can't understand how this kid can't play 20 consecutive games or 30 consecutive games. So you have to watch the roster. Montreal is definitely bitten by the injury bug, but they're still 6-2, like you said, Alex. You saw Demidov, what he brings to the table. That pass last night was unbelievable. I mean, that was like shades of Yager and Lemieux finishing off that game. And Matheson has played very well. Lane Hudson, that huge contract, that Montreal had to supply. I have not seen a defenseman skate this well since Bobby Orr. I have to be honest. He takes the puck, he takes control, he could quarterback the whole power play, bring it up the ice, and they're definitely a monstrous force in overtime. You're up against it when you're facing Caulfield, Suzuki, and Matheson, and then that second line. You could interchange Matheson and Hudson. Hudson plays on that first line as well with the 3-on-3. So Dobic has really picked up the slack. The big minus has been Montembeault, and tonight he's going to play, but I know he wants to really, he puts a lot of pressure on himself, this kid, and the Montreal media will do that to you as well. They have a super chance tonight, even though it's a back-to-back, just because I don't think they really overexerted themselves. They kind of leaned back on Dobic last night, and it paid off. So I think you're going to see a much more forceful and forward-moving Montreal offense tonight. They have so many different lines and so many different options. But keep your eye on the injury bug because, McDavid and Draisaitl and those guys will eat you right up, especially if you're short man, then they get a lead. So tough game to handicap because you're seeing the Oilers at minus 220. But I would definitely take a shot on the Canadians at plus 190. They're the best team right now in the NHL, in my opinion.
Well, Dwayne, your Habs are in the middle of a road trip. First, good morning. Your Habs are
Good morning, Ryan.
Habs are in the middle of a road trip, but I kind of want to go back to the top of the board. Team coming home from a road trip. The Tampa Bay Lightning are now home for 3 straight games, getting the Blackhawks, who are showing a lot of fight in the start of the season. But the Lightning are 0-2 at home and are a $3 favorite tonight against the Blackhawks, who have had a lot of fight. So, what do you see in this one?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Ryan. You look at these last couple of games, which I'm looking at for Tampa Bay, and they've just been horrible. I mean, Columbus, Detroit, Washington. Washington is a very tough team. We know that with Logan Thompson and those guys. But, you got to get some victories, and this is definitely a prime spot. But how do you lay 320? You got to look at the puck line. Spencer Knight will be between the pipes for the Blackhawks, who haven't looked all that bad. Definitely a good spot for the Lightning, in my opinion, coming back home. But Vasilevsky, like you show on the graphic, as you have to get a win. So let's keep an eye on that. He's going to definitely be a force as the season moves on. I think this is a definite, Eastern Conference contender, Tampa Bay, but I can't believe they've gotten out of the gate so slow. This is a tough matchup just because you're not playing well. You're coming off 3 consecutive losses, 2 before that against the Devils and Ottawa. Lone win was against Boston. So keep your eye on Tampa. I would lay off this game. I can't lay 310 in this spot.
Dwayne, let's go to another team that's almost a $3 favorite at home, the New York Rangers, who are 0-4 at home so far this year. Something's got to give, though, in this one. They're playing up against the winless Sharks here, and Shesterkin has been awesome again this year. But what do you think? Minus 270 for the Rangers.
Got to get some confidence for Igor, right, Alex? This is a good spot. I'll tell you right now, I think the Rangers are going to explode in this game. I would lay the puck line in this matchup. They have to eventually start playing well at Madison Square Garden. They showed signs. They beat the Canadiens, which was a very, very physical and tough game, and they played very well in that game. If they ever could replicate that game, they're going to blow San Jose out. I mean, Celebrini's definitely playing well, and you expect that, but definitely this is a good spot for the Rangers. Igor wants to get some confidence. You have to get some confidence into that building. The Rangers have a far better roster than what they've played at the level so far. You have to get Alex Lafreniere involved. Zibanejad has missed so many close opportunities, and he's right there. He's playing at a top level. Panarin, Fox, you have so many opportunities for the Rangers here, and especially against a weaker Western Conference foe coming all the way across the country into your building. I like the Rangers in this spot. I think they have to start righting the ship. You don't want to fall behind so quickly, when you have a schedule that there's a lot of winnable games. And you see, they got blown out by Minnesota 3-1. 2-1 at Toronto, beat Montreal 4-3. But you're seeing the Shesterkin level like you spoke about, Alex. Look at on the 12th, 1-0. And also on the 14th, 2-0 against 2 high-quality opponents. Skinner was unbelievable against the Rangers that one night when he shut them down. So this is where the Rangers are going to get healthy.
Well, Dwayne, I want to go to what I kind of think is the match of the night, and possibly might be yours as well. But going to Colorado, to 2 teams that should be or are at the top to be favorites of the Stanley Cup champions. Carolina, both teams coming in this one off a loss. Carolina getting their first of the year, Colorado getting their second, both of which are in overtime. So no regulation losses yet for the Avalanche. Now back home, a 130 favorite here at the South Point, but total is at 6. What are your thoughts here in this one, Dwayne?
Yeah, very low, Ryan. Definitely for a team like the Avalanche, but the Hurricanes bring a lot to the table as well. I like the Avalanche slightly in this spot. I think they could get back on the beam. That was a great matchup against Utah the other night. That game was going back and forth. And prior to that, they had won 3 in a row, the Avalanche. And I believe they played 3 out of 4 on the road on that slight road trip, if you want to call it that. There was a game in the middle there where they were at home. I think they could definitely get back on their winning streak here. Hurricanes, they, like you said, they lost that last game, but they're still 5-1. They were on a huge winning streak. They had to lose. Vegas dominated them here at the Fortress. So, we're going to see how they are and how good they are on the road. They're playing the 2 best teams in the Western Conference back to back. You hate to lose and send that signal, but, Brind'Amour will definitely be telling the locker room that and trying and motivate his players. I'm not sure if it's enough. McKinnon, unbelievable. McCaw, they have so many different players, and they all look healthy at this particular point, but it's very early in the season. We're going to see also who's going to be between the pipes for the Avalanche tonight. That's definitely a factor. Total is at 6. If I had to pick it, it's definitely the hardest matchup on the board. I would be looking at Colorado just because they're at home, but this could definitely be a 2-1, 3-2 matchup. Maybe look at the under here if, the defenses are tight. I think Brind'Amour will have his team a lot tighter as opposed to giving up 4 goals against the Golden Knights.
One more hockey for me, Dwayne. I just want to get your thoughts here because the Penguins are quite a surprise here, 5-2 to start the season. You want to make sure you're looking at their schedule. Are they just beating up on bad teams? But they have a few good wins in there, including the Rangers, the Islanders, even Vancouver. Now they have a tough matchup here in the Panthers. Talk about the injury bug kind of showing up on the road. They're still 3-0 at home, though. So it is a tough spot here for Pittsburgh. They're a plus 170 dog. Total 6 in this one. What are your thoughts on these two teams?
Good point, Alex. I mean, they got a lot of quality wins. You forgot the Kings, too. That's another quality win. So definitely Pittsburgh is playing at a higher level than anticipated. But this is Florida and the Stanley Cup defending champions who have lost 4 out of 5. This is a game they have to win. You want to start getting back acclimated into that winning tradition that they've had for the past 2 years. And this is a good spot. You look at the losses, they were pretty bad when you look at this team on that 4-game losing streak at Philadelphia, at Detroit, at Jersey, at Buffalo. They could not win a game on the road. And then, at Boston, that was a lucky bounce to where they won that game. That was the Brad Marchand game where, the homecoming. And that was a tough loss for Boston. So Florida hasn't looked all that great. And the Penguins have looked great. So this is usually a prime opportunity where you're looking at the dog taking that plus 170 at the Rampart and South Point. I just don't have faith in Pittsburgh to continue on this winning streak. They have great veteran leadership, but the question is between the pipes. I think the Panthers will get a victory tonight, but it's a layoff game for me, Alex, just because they're playing so bad. And now you're finally getting back home. First game off of a long road trip, a 5-game road trip. So, got to lay off this game, but I would normally edge Florida.
Anything else that we missed on the hockey board for you tonight?
It looks pretty good. I tell you guys, you covered everything. Winnipeg is off to a tremendous start, guys. You look at it, Winnipeg 5-1 right now. They won 5 in a row. You're going to have Hellebuck between the pipes again with a huge rest. Seattle is an up-and-coming and improving team. I don't like to lay 210, but I would lay it in this spot. I'll be honest with you. Winnipeg is off to a fabulous start. They want to win that Western Conference. They're really, really hungry. They made a few nice maneuvers to improve that roster, and it's showing thus far. And have the best goaltender in the world. So keep an eye on Winnipeg. If they start to open it up and start winning games, it's going to put pressure on the rest of the Western Conference there, that tongue tire. But, Vegas has looked fabulous. Like we said, Colorado, you have Winnipeg. It seems like the West is really, really stacked this year. Keep an eye on that. They could kill each other during the regular season, and it could be a feast for the East when it comes Stanley Cup time.
Before we go to NFL, and we will talk about tonight's Thursday night football game and then a couple games on Sunday, your thoughts going into the weekend, game 1 tomorrow, Dodgers versus Blue Jays. It should be a great series between these two. You want to give us your prediction and how many games and your winner?
I'm biased. I say Dodgers in 5. The rest may hurt a little bit, but how could it? Ohtani looks like, he started to get more and more healed and more enthusiastic, especially that last game. The Blue Jays were life and death. I can't believe, Alex, that Rodriguez swung at that last pitch. I wanted to see the dumper get up in that situation so bad. I saw Mr. Andrews tweet that out. I tweeted it out. That would have been just a fabulous matchup. That was a great series, whereas the Dodgers just manhandled the opponents throughout the playoffs. It just shows what they pay for, and that's what the product that you get. Now you have Sasaki closing out games. how do you bet against Blake Snell in game one? It's so difficult to gauge the lineups. Definitely Toronto has a superstar lineup. You have Vladdy out there just pounding the ball, but the Dodgers top to bottom. When you look at Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Muncy was hitting the ball. You have Kiki, he's hitting the ball. Edman, unbelievable. You have Smith back now calling the punches from behind the plate. The Dodgers are just too deep. I'd say Dodgers in 5, maybe 6. I know Toronto could win games at home, but, they did get swept at home in the first 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, against Seattle. So if that ever happens, you can forget about it. You'll never see Toronto again.
I love it. I think you're absolutely right. I think it's the Dodgers series to lose.
Is there value on maybe picking an MVP? Because I know Ohtani is a big favorite. Is there somebody else on the Dodgers team that you'd be looking at?
Yeah, take a shot with Mookie. What about Freddie? I mean, if Freeman gets hot, he carried us last year against the Yankees. Freddie could definitely get hot. The Dodgers have so many options. Ohtani is definitely the focal point, and we know how he's the media darling. When you're pitching 6 innings, striking out 10, hitting 3 home runs. I mean, mammoth home runs in Dodger Stadium, which is perceived as a pitcher's park. You're definitely looking at Ohtani, but definitely Betts, Freeman. These guys could do a lot, and they could do a lot of damage, and they definitely have a chance. What about Tosca going back to Toronto? I mean, he's a monster as well. This is why the Dodgers are winning in such easy fashion. They're playing their best baseball of the entire season right now. They're fully healthy. The pitching is back. It's such a tough series for Toronto, but there's no pressure on the other hand. So, Toronto has to go in with that mentality that we have no pressure. Bieber could get a solid start. You get a few solid starts here and there. You get some players that could complement Vladdy like they did in the Seattle series, and you're definitely going to have a good series. But Dodgers are coming in rested, and Dave Roberts now has full control over this roster. He knows when to put in a bullpen game. He has fabulous starters. Glasnow has looked great. It's so difficult for Toronto, and we're saying that with home field advantage in the World Series. They have to sweep if they have any chance of beating the Dodgers to win the World Series. Keep that in mind. So game 1 is the focal point, but how do you beat Blake Snell? He's been unbelievable, guys. So it's a tough series to bet. Definitely by a game-by-game perspective, I think it's more favorable than just laying your 260, 270 on the Dodgers to win the series. Keep in mind, we had it at minus 240. That might have been a sweeter deal prior to Game 7 against Toronto or Seattle. You knew if Seattle got in, it was going to be in upwards of 3-1, the series price. So I think the value was there betting the Dodgers prior to Game 7, even though Toronto, the favorite, won the game.
Well, we'll move away from baseball now. We'll go to football, but we'll stick with a Los Angeles team. Tonight, the Chargers take on the Vikings, are a 3-point favorite now here at the South Point. And at the Rampart, the total has gone up a point from opening at 43.5 to now 44.5. What are your thoughts here, Dwayne?
It's a tough one. I tell you, the Chargers now are sitting at 3. I mean, ticket count is 2-1 in favor of the Chargers. Money is slightly in favor of the Chargers. You have the whole travel factor, the Carson Wentz factor for Minnesota. But the Chargers, who were the best team in the NFL, as everybody perceived after the first 3 weeks, couldn't even barely beat Miami 2 weeks ago. They haven't looked good, in my opinion. There's a lot of pressure now on Justin Herbert to lead this team in the right direction. They got totally banged up in the running back position, which definitely hurt him, because when you don't have a running attack, it makes things even more and more difficult. I'll tell you right now, I think that definitely Minnesota, despite all this travel and the European games, has a chance in this game. They did activate Jones, I've seen. Mason is a good running back. You still have Justin Jefferson. If they could protect on that pass rush, definitely Minnesota has a chance in this game. That's why you're only seeing a field goal currently at the Rampart and South Point. Like I said, Herbert's got to get that deep ball going, and they have to score early, the Chargers. Don't rely on your defense, because if the Vikings start to move the ball down the field and the defense gets long-winded on the field, Vikings will win the game straight up. I'll tell you that right now. They're a solid team. This is a great, great matchup for Thursday Night Football. You do have to travel all the way to Los Angeles. So far, they're not as rah-rah, though, for the Chargers as they are for the Rams. So also keep that in mind.
Dwayne, let's go to a few Sunday games. Curious your thoughts and maybe some splits for us, tickets and money-wise. Let's start off with one of the morning games. I'm looking at San Francisco going to Houston. The Texans, a 1.5 favorite, coming off a loss on Monday, and the total 41.5. Pretty impressed with what the Niners have done, even with the injury so far this year.
Yeah, it seems like, Alex, you had starting quarterbacks like McCarthy and Purdy, and now it seems like they're pushing them back, letting them heal up because of the play of Mac Jones and Carson Wentz. So this is a tough situation. McCaffrey had his best game in probably 2 years. He could run the ball. Houston finally did what they had to do. Houston is a 1.5-point favorite, but you look at the ticket count and the money, it's all on the 49ers. Right now, we're looking at a 5-1 ticket count on the 49ers. The money is about 3.5 to 1. We're definitely going to be rooting for Houston. The game can't go much lower. You're not going to see a pick 'em. I'll tell you that right now. Even if we continue to get 49er money, I mean, you're still going to be probably a 1-point favorite just because they're at home and because the 49ers are banged up on several, different areas of this football team, but they continue to win games. They continue to get lucky. Maybe the Texans have a chance here, but you have to protect CJ. Got to get that ball to Nico Collins and definitely do some damage. You have the home field. You're definitely going to be tough, and the crowd's going to be stoked. 49ers traveling again. I slightly like the Texans, and I know we're going to need the Texans here at the Rampart and South Point.
Dwayne, I'm curious about the NFC East divisional matchup that we're going to see this weekend between the Giants and Eagles. It is a rematch from 2 weeks ago where the Giants defeated them on Thursday Night Football in an upset. We've seen this line kind of move the Eagles' direction, though. Open 7, now to 7.5, and the total's gone up from 42.5 to 44. What are your thoughts here as it's same division as your favorite team?
Probably a demoralizing victory, last week that destroyed the Giants. I'll be honest with you, for Denver. I think that Philadelphia is going to definitely have a chip on their shoulder, looking to get revenge from that game. They have to control Scatterboo. We know that. Jackson Dart has looked very, very good, but the Giant defense just fell apart in the fourth quarter. Nix was on fire. It was unbelievable. Then Dart threw the bad interception, which you expect out of a rookie. I think the rookies come back down to earth here. I think that definitely the Eagles ought to play. That's why you're seeing the steam right now all over the Eagles. And, the whole thing is Dable is a horrible coach. That's what I keep saying, Ryan. He is not good. 3-1 ticket count on the Eagles. He could do that rah-rah all he wants, but, you could see early on in the season, Neighbors wasn't buying into it, and he's still your best player, even though he's injured and out for the season. The rookies are going to buy into your rah-rah just because you're hugging them, you're all over them. Definitely Scatterboo has to have a big game. Throw a few of them swing passes to him. Maybe play a little ball control like you did last time, and you could win this game. But I think the Eagles are very hungry. Let's check the status on A.J. Brown. I know he's dealing with a hamstring after having his best game of the NFL season. And, he scored twice last week. That's what you have to do. Jalen Hurts finally started to get control of this offense. But here's a prediction. I'll tell you right now. Start betting Saquon over in all of his propositions this week. Saquon is going to be the one who goes off on the Giants. We're going to need the Giants, so I'll be rooting for them from behind the counter. I like the Eagles, though, here. I'll probably be on Rampart, like I always say, holding the sign. Please bet the New York Giants. Let's see how it plays out.
Dwayne, two matchups here for teams that are pretty desperate, 1 win each. Let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens. It looks like Lamar Jackson is practicing. Still, as I mentioned, the Ravens have 1 win on the season. Chicago's coming on off a nice little win streak into this, catching 6.5. Any thoughts on this one?
I tell you, this is a tough game to handicap. The Bears have played very well, Alex, just like you said. So I don't understand just because, now we're telling you that Lamar Jackson is basically a touchdown when he's on or off the field, but the defense has been terrible. Harbaugh has no control over this team. He's not coaching the team very well. I think the Bears have an excellent chance. The money is showing on the Bears. We have a slight ticket count advantage on the Bears, and the money slightly is in favor of the Bears. And, Caleb has played very well. They've shown they're so well coached. They made the right coaching decision. Can they keep this winning streak or, solid game streak going, which I definitely think they can, but Baltimore needs the game. That's why you're seeing the 6.5. They're desperate for a victory. Baltimore is going to win this game at home as long as Lamar plays. It's just, can they cover the 6.5 points? I think it will see possibly 6. I don't know if it'll go to 7 unless we take some big late action on Baltimore, but I do anticipate we will see that big late action on Baltimore. It's a must win for the Ravens. Keep that in mind, everybody.
Sorry, and I said 2 desperate teams. I wanted to get the next game too with the Dolphins here. Catching 7.5. It looks like the bottom's really falling out. Is that enough against the Falcons?
They're in disarray. McDaniel's terrible. I just don't get it. I don't understand how he keeps his job. I don't understand now he's pulled Tua. There definitely was emotions on the sideline. You knew that when Tyreek Hill went down, he was actually celebrating that he didn't have to play the rest of this season, which is shocking. Penix is good enough to beat this team, especially at home. You're seeing 7.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Ticket count, guys, 10-1. So you tell me who we're going to need. Yes, it's 10-1, Ryan. Unbelievable. The money is stacked as well. That's 10-1, even more than 10-1. Falcons could get up to 8.5 in this game. Nobody is going to bet Miami. But, maybe with a teaser as an option. But they've looked so horrible. I don't even know. How do you only target Waddle twice last week? Explain that to me. He's the only weapon you have. He's a deadly weapon. 2 targets last week.
Did you
the running game is in.
Did you hear Tua's press
What did he
conference?
say, Ryan?
Go
ahead.
Tua said that he couldn't see over his linemen, and that was kind of an issue to get the passes to Waddle. You're the quarterback.
You're going to establish that you're short now?
$100 million extension. You can't see over the linemen. That was the issue.
Right.
What?
Russell Wilson and Doug Flutie never had these problems. I mean, think about it. What do you got to be 6'8" now to be a quarterback in the NFL? Mac Jones isn't all that. He's bigger than those two, but still, I mean, these guys, I tell you, they'll fall on any excuse, and that's just showing. The players are late to team meetings. Some of them don't show up to team meetings. Tua made that statement 2 weeks ago, then was late to the very next team meeting. The team is in disarray. Ownership needs to make a move right now on the head coaching. I'm sure if they get blown out by the Falcons, which they will, Bijan's going to go crazy this week. You'll see this coach removed.
I mean, I see it happening the same way you do, but we kind of talked with Matt Neverett earlier in the week and when Mike McDaniel would get fired, but they have a short week coming up. They play against the Ravens at home on Thursday night. And Matt, that was kind of Matt's point against them making the move now. But there's not going to be a good time to fire a coach if you're doing it in season, and you have to.
But you don't even have basically right now, Ryan, they don't even have a head coach. Right. So does it make a difference on a short week? Yep. I mean, if Baltimore comes out and blows out like everybody anticipates this week, they'll be even more hungry for the next game. Right. Why let them embarrass themselves even further?
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. Plus, so the Dolphins have that short week, and then they get 3 straight home games. Well, I guess they could go overseas to Spain for the Commanders game, but then they have 3 straight home games and their bye week mixed in. So could be a good time to make the change and have your guys get a culture reset. But now we will move to your team on the road in Denver. Denver obviously had that field goal to win it last week, but now they are again a 3.5 point favorite, field goal favorite, 3.5 now, but total's at 50.5. What do you feel here?
Tough traveling to Denver. I'll be honest with Ryan. I kind of like Denver. I'm a Cowboy guy, you know that, but Denver is in a good position, especially riding that emotional tidal wave after that big victory last weekend. Dallas's offense is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. I mean, CD, Williams, Ferguson, Dak Prescott is having an MVP type season, but let's keep in mind those bad losses where they gave up tons of points to Carolina, the Eagles early in the season. They blew that game. And, also Green Bay put up 40, and Green Bay has a very suspect offense. So, a very difficult position for the Cowboys just because I think that Bo is going to be able to move the ball, and definitely it's going to be a different type of Bronco start, in my opinion. I'm sure that Peyton will try and, rectify the slow start. He doesn't want to be trailing and have to score 30 points in the fourth quarter like they did last week. But that offense and defense is definitely capable of stepping it up. I think they sold themselves a little short against the Giants. I think they'll be more prepared for Dallas. Dallas has to get some defensive pressure on the quarterback, and I don't know if that's possible. Also, you have Diggs, who's causing trouble now. now left and right, in the secondary. So who knows? I mean, Dallas's offense is great. I'll give them credit. I'll give Dak all the credit in the world, but very tough spot, the altitude, all that. If the defense is on the field for a long time, they're going to get crushed. So, very tough spot for the Dallas Cowboys here. They're in the divisional race just because the Commanders aren't playing all that well. So this is a huge game for Dallas, but it's a huge game for the Broncos as well, now that the Chiefs are back to being the best team in the NFL that most people perceive. So definitely Broncos want to win this game. They're going to be tough. Maybe Dallas could lose by 3 and you could cover the spread here, but kind of like the Broncos here. 3.5 at the Rampart and South Point. Total of 50.5.
Yeah, sneaky good matchup there. Strength versus strength. The top defense versus the top offense in the Cowboys. Let's go to the Sunday night game. I thought I was getting 3.5 here with Pittsburgh at home, but it looks like the hooks are gone. Dwayne, what are you seeing in this one? Green Bay, top of the power ratings for a lot of us. They've fallen out of my top 5 finally because they're barely winning these games, and now they're a 3-point favorite on the road against kind of a desperate Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers team here, getting 3 at home.
Yeah, this is a tough game. I mean, I'm never sold on Matt LaFleur, and especially when you're giving Tomlin points at home, Aaron Rodgers, he's got to get the ball to Metcalf. We know that. They got to try and play ball control, keep the Packers offense off the field, which the Packers offense isn't all that great. I don't buy into Jordan Love just yet. Tough game, Alex. I would have loved to gotten 3.5 as well. I like the Steelers with 3.5. And, if you see that flashback, definitely jump all over it, especially at home. Anytime you're getting over a field goal at home with the Pittsburgh Steelers, definitely both teams are used to cold weather conditions, which it should be a little colder at that time of the evening. And, we're seeing some good two-way action on this game. Ticket count is slightly in favor of the Steelers, but the money is, somewhat even. A lot of people are laying off, seeing how the injury reports are going to play out, maybe a weather report. Love the Steelers at 3.5, like them at 3. I think Rodgers is definitely capable of a huge game against his former team. I know he says he's downplaying it, but he's going to be looking to win that game. He's still got the fist pumps going on, screaming at his, linemen that are tackling him after big touchdowns. Rodgers is such a unique character, and he brings so much to the aura of the NFL. People don't realize that. I like the Steelers in this game, but I like 3.5 like you do a lot better than 3, Alex.
I shouldn't really say desperate. I mean, just coming off a loss against the Bengals, but they're still leading that division. So
that division is so weird. Well, they're still looking over their shoulder at Baltimore. Trust me. I mean, I don't care how many Joe Flaccos there are out there, and Chase and Higgins could catch the ball 35 times. Without Joe Burrow, they still are going to lose games. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be mistakes and pressure that Flacco will face. Maybe, not this week, but we'll see moving forward. The Steelers want to keep going because, like you said, with Cincy playing the Jets this week, you want to keep it going.
Dwayne, tell us about the special next week. You will be here at the South Point studio with Ralph Soroka. What are you guys doing? Breeders' Cup special, right?
Yeah, definitely. Come out and join us for the Breeders' Cup. All you got to do is bet $500 and not just one wager. Throughout the course of the day, we're going to give you a free iPazzi pizza. Fabio Vivani's fabulous new restaurant, iPazzi here. He also has a little pizza stand, which we just opened. The vibe is tremendous for this, Alex. It's just fabulous pizza. It's gourmet type pizza. He's using all the best ingredients. It's for a $25 value. No comp points will be removed from your account. All you got to do is come and join us, have a Rampart Rewards card, and wager during the course of the day. Those wagers add up very quickly on Breeders' Cup Saturday. And we're going to have a pizza for you. I'll be joining Ralph on Thursday with Chris and Vinny. We're going to break down the Breeders' Cup, certain races. It's just going to be such a fabulous atmosphere. We're going to have the best Breeders' Cup Classic, definitely in the last 20 years. It's so exciting when you start seeing horses like Sovereignty, Sierra Leone, Fierceness, Journalism, Baeza, Forever Young. The list is endless. This is going to be a fabulous Breeders' Cup, and there's a lot of great other horses that are running. The fabulous 2-year-old Ted Nafi, who may be a favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Just so many different betting options on Friday and Saturday. come out and join us at the Rampart. I'll have it fired up on the video wall, 55 feet right in the center. You know, college football has to take a back seat on Breeders' Cup Saturday at the Rampart. We don't have two separate books like the South Point does, but my fans and my patrons, they definitely appreciate that, and they understand that college for 1 week has to take a slight, off to the side, but they get 1/3 of the video wall. The horse racing will get 2/3 on Breeders' Cup Saturday and Friday.
It actually worked out pretty well. Not the greatest of college football cards this
Right.
Saturday. So I think it'll be okay. Breeders' Cup next week at Del Mar. Go visit Dwayne there at the Rampart or come to South Point. And then the special next week, October 30th, Thursday, 3 p.m. live from Race Day with Ralph Soroka. Any horse picks for today for any of our viewers watching live
definitely.
right now?
Definitely. Keeneland is starting to wind down. I believe Churchill Downs opens this Sunday, and I have a horse here at Keeneland for us today. Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, Rethink, number 6 in the 9th race. Chad Brown is 0 for 14 at the current Keeneland meet, which is unheard of, but he has 7 second-place finishes. So his in-the-money percentage has been fabulous. I think this horse will definitely improve. He's got Irad in the saddle. He ran at Kentucky Downs last time, 6.5 furlongs. He finished 4th. He was kind of plodding along. I think this horse will improve. Now it's his 3rd career start, which is always a focal career start. Like I said, Irad the Master, he's 18 of 98 at the current meet, almost at 20%. He's the best rider in the world, in my opinion, and definitely he will be trying to win this race. Irad tries to win them all. Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, number 6, Rethink in the 9th race at Keeneland today.
Very good. We appreciate you. Last but not least, I know we had a winner. I believe it was here at the South Point, not at the Rampart, but we've had a few so far this football season, right? With the great parlay cards that are offered at South Point and Rampart.
Yeah, especially that reverse teaser. That's the killer. Definitely, you have to keep your eye on that one. There's so much tremendous value. We have an excellent parlay card selection. We keep the parlay cards going. We're old school. You know, a lot of these places are going away from the parlay cards. They're going away from the drink tickets. They're going to all different directions. And not here at the Rampart. Definitely come out. Buy a $50 parlay card, guys, and we'll give you a deli coupon. It's good for 2 hot dogs, a cheeseburger, or chicken fingers, or you could use it $5 off our fabulous lunch, brunch buffet, or any buffet, basically. You could use it, during the course of the week. It's $5 off, or you get that selection at the Clubhouse Deli of 3 options. All you got to do is purchase one $50 parlay card, and I buy you lunch. The best deal in Las Vegas, only at the Rampart Casino.
Man, that is a great deal. There he is. Follow him on X, NYBookie. Dwayne, we appreciate you going through the whole hockey slate with us. It's always a great time. And, of course, the horse pick number 6. Dwayne, thank you so much. We'll see you again next Thursday.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate it. Say hi to everybody at the South Point in the fabulous South Point studio. The best sports betting information, period. Sports by the book. I don't have to get repetitious. If you're not watching this show, you're losing out. Definitely.
Go visit him at the Rampart. We appreciate you, Dwayne. We'll see you again. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Ryan and I are going to break down Thursday night football game a little bit more between the Vikings and the Chargers. And we'll do another quick look at the hockey slate for tonight. We'll be right back.
Ready to bet smarter? Get sports betting tips straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I like the Commanders at 3.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
The Wise guys were all over Florida last week, and they're against Florida this week. That's not a common pattern.
I think these teams could score a lot. I would look at the over.
I'm very high on Tampa Bay. I think they can go there and they can win this game.
Subscribe for free to Sports by the Book on YouTube. Your winning edge starts now.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think this is a great Kansas City team. I think the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Here we go, Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Alex White, Ryan McCormick. Let's get to tonight's matchup. We're going to break it down a little bit. Going offense with the Chargers against the Vikings defense, and then we'll do vice versa, kind of see where we land. Right now, the Chargers are a 3-point favorite, and it was 2.5 most of the week, Ryan. I believe the news that Joe Alt might play, which is huge for the Chargers, who have been struggling on the offensive line, have 2 tackles out, and that has really been the difference and why they have struggled so much. One of the most pass-heavy teams so far in the NFL, and we know that is not what Coach Harbaugh wants to do. So give me your thoughts overall. Charger, they've been struggling offensively, but how do you think they're going to do up against Brian Flores' defense here in the Vikings?
Yeah, I mean, we know that Jim Harbaugh doesn't necessarily want to be throwing the ball and wants to be running the football, control the clock, and all that kind of stuff. They only have one healthy running back. Kimani Vidal is their only healthy running back right now. So they're going to have to be throwing the ball with Justin Herbert, and that's kind of where I'm looking. I'm going over his pass completions. Is that what we have here at the South Point? 24? Yeah, completions over 24, or over 23.5, getting plus 105 for 24 completions from Justin Herbert tonight. I think they're going to be not necessarily spreading the field and going deep, but getting short passes to the line of scrimmage, getting yards after catch, because that's what Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson are successful at. So that's kind of where I'm looking and thinking that, yes, Brian Flores has been doing great things this year and throwing off quarterbacks and all that kind of stuff. But Justin Herbert is experienced in this league. And I think that they'll be able to get at least short yardage and yards after catch and to get their offense moving in this one.
That's funny. That's exactly where I was looking. And the last time these two played each other, 2023, and it was Brian Flores, who was the defensive coordinator, of course, a different head coach and coaches for the Chargers, but still Justin Herbert had a lot of success, 40 of 47, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns and no INTs. So I do think that they will, I mean, both sides are definitely going to be watching that film, right? And Brian Flores trying to see how he can switch it up. But Harbaugh's going to dive in and see what made him so successful. And I kind of almost lean to the Chargers in this game even, but I don't love it here at 3. But I think you're onto something. I would look more with props and looking at Justin Herbert. I like the completions a lot, maybe even yards for him in this one. Keenan Allen was a main target for him in that matchup as well. So maybe looking there. Anything else in looking at the Chargers offensively, or looking at those props, or anything that you even want to mention?
I mean, if you are
here?
able to get to or use DraftKings, FanDuel, those services, I would be looking at his over attempts as well for Justin Herbert, over 35.5, minus 109 at DraftKings currently. But yeah, going to have to throw the ball a lot, or that's at least how I see the game going for the Chargers script. And just to kind of add a note, just to talk about the coaches of Jim Harbaugh and Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell, as a road underdog NFL head coach, he's only been with the Vikings, is 3-8 straight up, 4-5-2 against the spread. Jim Harbaugh, as a home favorite NFL head coach, 31-13-1 straight up. Yes, he tied. And 21-17-4 against the spread. So not necessarily covering, but winning the game outright. So it could mean that this game will be a tight one, will be decided within a field goal. But the Chargers, I ultimately end up holding on.
That is a great point. Minus 170, not a bad number there, just for the Chargers to get the win, and not having to risk that point spread at all. I mentioned it off the top, though. It is crazy. Both of them 500 or better, but it still does feel like this is like a get-right spot for them to see how the rest of the season is going to play out.
Oh, I absolutely think this is a must-win for the Vikings. Their season has kind of been a season from hell. I mean, you think J.J. McCarthy is going to be your starter going into the year. You only have him for 2 weeks. And then you go into week 3, or you get the win week 1 when you shouldn't have against the Bears. You get embarrassed against the Falcons, and you lose J.J. McCarthy. Then you get week 3 against the Bengals, who don't have Joe Burrow. They have Jake Browning, and you absolutely curb stomp them in Carson Wentz's first start back, 48-10, with defensive touchdowns as well. Then you go to London, or you go to Ireland, and then London. So you spend 2 straight weeks in Europe. Then you have your bye, and then you go to Philly, or you host Philly last week, and again lose a game you shouldn't have, and your offense looks looks like it can do things, but now you go on the road to Detroit, on the road to LA, and then on the road to Detroit, and then you have Baltimore, who should be getting Lamar Jackson back healthy. You have 2 divisional games at home against Chicago, and then at Green Bay. Like, this is we did our season previews before the season started, and you guys had said that the Vikings needed to get fat and happy. They did not do that. And so now we're getting to the point where they need to win these games and are going to need to fight with Carson Wentz.
You're 100% correct. And I guess that is kind of the scary part of, even wanting to lay any numbers here with the Chargers, is kind of looking at the more desperate teams. And we're going on 3 straight Thursday night football games where the dog has won outright. Yep. And we even saw before that, I mean, that was probably the Dolphins' best game we saw this year on a Thursday night against the Bills. And these standalone games, you're going to get the best effort from both teams. It is a short week, less time to prepare, which does make it a little bit challenging. Let's go to the Vikings offense. And you were talking about what they've gotten from Carson Wentz so far, and it has been pretty good, completing 67% of his passes, averaging 268 yards per game. He does have 4 INTs, though, on the year to just 5 touchdown passes. He's got all the weapons in the world. I know that they've had some injuries at the running back position too, but I do believe Aaron Jones is there's a chance he could go tonight. So thoughts overall on the Vikings offense here?
Well, just to kind of make that point of Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, and Aaron Jones could be coming back tonight. If we want to take a look at the anytime touchdown props over at DraftKings and FanDuel right now. So Jordan Mason on DraftKings was the favorite to start this morning. Is now the second favorite behind Kamani Vidal. But he's plus 140 on DraftKings, and over on FanDuel, Jordan Mason is plus 160. So that kind of just updated. It was 115 when I looked 5 minutes ago, and now jumped to 140 on FanDuel. But anyway, there was a 45-cent difference between DraftKings and FanDuel to score a touchdown for Jordan Mason tonight. So FanDuel thinking that Aaron Jones will be playing,
right.
DraftKings not necessarily up to date on that information. So that was kind of the note that I want to make there of Jordan, or it is looking like Aaron Jones will be coming back into this game. He is plus 350 over on FanDuel to score a touchdown, and 320 on DraftKings. Basically, if you're able to bet on FanDuel and you want to be playing an anytime touchdown tonight, it's better to be doing it there, except for the one that I actually want to play tonight, and the one that it's kind of scaring me why, or really wondering why he's not the favorite. But Justin Jefferson at plus 155, what are we doing? Why is he not closer to a minus price?
Right. I mean, yeah. One of the top wide receivers in the league. So, I mean, he does have a lot of different weapons, and we've seen Addison kind of come on strong as of late, but price-wise, it does make a lot of sense. Can you tell us where other wide receivers like him, like Jamar Chase or something, where they typically are number-wise?
I mean, they're, depending on the game and who they're playing against, they're normally, the wide receiver ones are either a favorite or right around $1, or maybe stretching to where Justin Jefferson is. But when we're in this type of game and he's kind of comparing shopping prices, he is the favorite for the Vikings to score a touchdown, and he's still plus 155. If we're thinking this game's going to have points, how is it not going to go? How is Justin Jefferson not going to find paint in this one? I just don't understand it.
Especially, I mean, the Chargers defense statistically has not been as good as it was the last year. Definitely taken a step back, and right now allowing 23.3 on average points per game, 6.5 yards per pass. Now, a little bit better against the pass than the run, because 5.1 yards a carry so far. So might be running backs that can get some yards in this one too. But you like Justin Jefferson ultimately in the end zone here. Total wise, I think that is just right. I lean a little bit to the over, to be honest. I do think we're going to see some success from both offenses. Yeah,
I don't doubt it. I think this game has a lot of potential to be a shootout. It's just a matter of, will Brian Flores' defense kind of confuse, or will turnovers be forced? And kind of as we were talking about the Justin Jefferson, it dropped on FanDuel, or dropped on DraftKings. It's now 145 on DraftKings. So now the best price you'll get is at FanDuel plus 150.
Okay, very good. Anything else for this matchup before we take a look at any more hockey games and see if we have any best bets in hockey tonight?
A special Vegas note is that a wide receiver for the Vikings is Jalen Naylor. He is a Bishop Gorman grad, Bishop Gorman alum, so I am rooting for him tonight. He should have a good amount of family at that game, making the short trip down to L.A. So Jalen Naylor could be a spicy touchdown at plus 550.
Very good. I like it. All right, let's go to hockey. I truly am very impressed with Dwayne and his breakdown of the games that we were just throwing to him. I want to start with one with the Blackhawks, and you asked him about them and the Lightning and kind of their struggles this year. And honestly, I mean, it kind of starts with the goalie, right? And Vasilevsky, his numbers don't look like they normally do. He is expected tonight. 3.5 goals against average and an .886 save percentage. Those aren't really his typical numbers. Spencer Knight on the other side has been very good. His numbers, 1.96 goals against and a .937 save percentage. Still, I kind of like this game going over. I think you're getting a pretty good number there at 6. So that's a lean for me between these two.
When we talked about the game earlier with Dwayne, it was a plus 105 on the puck line. It is now even money, so they must have taken a bet on the puck line with the Hawks. That's where I am at tonight. The Lightning have really been struggling to start this year, and the Hawks have been great. Not necessarily winning games, but scoring and being competitive and having a lot of fight. And Alex just mentioned it. Spencer Knight has been one of, if not the best goaltender in the league to start this year. So yeah, I'm thinking the Blackhawks will at least have this within a 1-goal game. And to point out, the Lightning are 1-3-2, 0-2 at home, have lost 3 straight, and all 3 of those, actually, all 4 of their last 4 games have been decided by 1 goal. 2 of those 3 went to overtime, and their last 3 games were 1-goal losses. So the Blackhawks are live in this game to win outright. I believe the right price, or getting the goal and a half at even money, is gonna get it back if they don't on the money line tonight.
I love it. Let's go 4-3 final there with the Blackhawks getting the win. We can get the over. You can get the puck line end on the money line for that one. It is funny when you see goalies move from team to team, and I thought Spencer Knight was a great pickup coming over from Florida. It does take some time. So it's almost like that next year, and you're seeing it with Scott Wedgwood for the Avs too. And now that he has gotten to actually be the number one to start the season, I mean, that's something to look for. So mid-season, when you're seeing a backup goalie that you do think is pretty good, maybe looking for that, how he does next year on that team. Any more that jumped out to you? I do the next game rate rotation number 3940 Flyers Senators. That's another one that I lean to the over. I'm not really sure why it's priced at a 5.5. I've talked about Olmark too and the struggles so far. I guess on the other side, with I'm gonna mess up his name, Dan Vlader. He's been very good for the Flyers, so maybe that is why. But still, I think we could see some goals. I think 5.5 is a low number for those two. And then sidewise, anything jump out to you, or even a total for you?
I have a total and a side,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be going back to another puck line. Even though it didn't quite work out yesterday, they were still great prices and we're still doing good. Okay, so going to Winnipeg against the Kraken. More so a fade on the Kraken. They're kind of finishing up their road trip. Have not been playing well at all in their last couple of games. Have not covered the puck line, I think, in their last 2, maybe 3 straight. Got 1 win on this road trip. So anyway, Seattle is not playing well. We highlighted it with Dwayne. Winnipeg has been playing very well. Should win this game by a puck and a half, or at least 2. Getting, where are we at there? Plus 120 on that puck line. And then the other one, the one that I like the total, is a low 5.5, but it's in Dallas. It's between the Kings and the Stars. These two offenses are struggling to score, and that's really just why I'm going under the 5.5. I get it, 5.5. It's low in today's NHL, but you're getting a plus price there, and just thinking that this is going to be 2 competitive teams fighting for goals, fighting for a win early in the season. Going under 5.5 there.
I love it, especially Dallas. I mean, 3-3, and they're at the bottom of their division, not dead last, but second to last. And Dwayne made a great point with how competitive the West is now. If you do believe in the Stars, there might be a good time to jump in on a future bet for them. They will be chasing, but they do have a really good goal in Ottinger. We'll see, though. Maybe the coaching change was not for the best, but it could just take some time too. Losing 3 in a row coming into this one. 2 really good goalies, Kemper and Ottinger. So I do like that one with an under. I've got an under 2, and then that's it for me. I think you brought up, no, we didn't talk about this one. Canucks, Preds. I'm going under 6 in that one because Thatcher Demko and Saros has been really good. Both of these two, I mean, the Predators started with a couple wins and got my hopes up a little bit that maybe they kind of figured it out after everybody was on them last year, but now they are 29th. Once again, this was the theme last year, 29th in goals per game. Vancouver is 20th. I think both of these goalies can play well here in these matchups. So under 6 in that one for me. And that's it. I don't even have a side today. It's going to be watching all of these. So some really good games. I agree with you. That Canes and Avs one is going to be electric, really.
Absolutely. There's plenty of these games that are going to be really entertaining to watch. From Penguins, Panthers, Canes, Avalanche, Kings, Stars. I mean, even the Habs, Oilers. Tonight is a really good NHL slate. It
really is, and I'm glad you reminded me about that Penguins and Panthers because I'm a little intrigued. I am impressed with Pittsburgh right now. Might be not a bad dog to get behind here. They are playing good, but. All right, let's take a quick break. I'm going to get my whiteboard ready. We're going to wrap up any final things. The poll should be done. Hopefully you guys all participated, and we'll go over the trivia answer right here when we get back on Sports by the Book.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Keeping it going here on Sports by the Book. We're going to go through our trivia of the day. And if you are new here, we do have a trivia question on the ticker throughout the show for you guys to play along with. And you just jump in the chat. Tell us if you know the right answer. Ryan, football today, right?
Yeah, today's ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine was a football question. But before we get to that one, we give you guys a chance to kind of answer that if you haven't gotten a chance to do so in the chat. We'll go first to the poll results for today. We wanted your thoughts on tonight's couple props for tonight's Thursday night football game between the Vikings and Chargers. Which fun with how do we do this, Vince? We get their fix going over 6 is how we did it. Yeah. So receivers needing 6+ receptions or 6 total touchdowns in the game to get the overs on these. So anyway, Ladd McConkey, over 5.5 receptions, plus 135. Justin Jefferson, over 5.5 receptions, minus 140. Keenan Allen, over 5.5 receptions, plus 120. And then combined touchdowns in the game, over 5, getting plus 110. And we had a pretty split poll today. Actually, results pretty tight. Two tied at 25 and a 31% winner, with Keenan Allen going over his receptions tonight, getting 6+ receptions at plus 120. So poll going with Keenan Allen, former Bear. No, we'll all remember him as a Charger. All right, going anyway to today's ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine. The football question for you. On this date in sports history, October 23rd, 1903, the 8th edition of the Iron Bowl took place, in which Alabama defeated Auburn 18-6. What is the current overall record of the Iron Bowl, and what is the largest victory on record? There's been 89 meetings between the Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Iron Bowl to date. Alabama leads that 51-37 and a tie. The largest of the 51 victories by Alabama was a 55-0 shutout. One time, Auburn coach Ralph Shug Jordan is often credited with coining the Iron Bowl name, which was a reference to Birmingham's industry-leading iron production in the early 20th century. So today's trick or trivia was Alabama leads 51-37 to 1 and beat Auburn 55-0 one time. 1948.
They will play again the final week of the regular season. Curious, we'll have to put in the chat what the final score prediction is from people
that'll be a fun
this
one.
Year's matchup.
Yeah.
Our Auburn, of course, has a matchup against Arkansas this weekend, which Bruce Marshall had a play on. So if you missed it, go back and watch Wednesday's show. Good. Okay. Picks from us too on this Thursday. We like to call them our whiteboard best bets of the day. I'm starting out.
Sure.
Okay, so tagging along here with Ryan, I do like Justin Herbert to have a pretty good game, going over 23.5 completions for him. I do like the Chargers to get the win, minus 170. Ryan went over all the trends, but Jim Harbaugh has been great as a favorite and at home. And then 2 hockey. I like over in the Blackhawks and the Lightning, going over 6 for that one. And then the Canucks and the Predators, I'm going under 6. So those are my 4 plays on this Thursday. I'll have more tomorrow on Football Frenzy, so make sure to join us at noon tomorrow. But Ryan, your plays on this Thursday.
All right. I will we'll yesterday having the same things didn't quite work out for us. So we'll go. So I'll leave Herbie off my pick. So we'll go Blackhawks plus the puck and a half against the Lightning. Going Jets minus the puck and a half against the Kraken. Going under in Kings Stars. And then I will be taking Justin Jefferson to find the paint tonight, scoring an anytime touchdown for the Vikings.
Very good. I think I might go Aaron Jones if he's coming back and healthy.
Yeah, getting over $3.
Yeah, that's a good price for good running back there. But we did have one of the same, and that was our Champion League bet, thanks to Bruce Marshall, over 3.5 yesterday.
Right.
Easy winner.
Yeah, just
So
following Bruce's lead on that one. Pretty good track record. So
Yes. That's it for us for today. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. to go over all of Friday's action. Of course, all of the sports in the morning show, and then Football Frenzy at noon, from noon to 2. Join us for Week 9 preview of college football and Week 8 in the NFL. Myself, Vinny, and Chris Andrews here at the desk. Ryan will be cutting the show. Sean will be back there too, and Drew Dog Vance. Everybody will be here. Thank you all for today. Thank you, everybody who joined us live or watching the replay. We'll be back tomorrow. This has been Sports by the Book. For Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. We'll see you tomorrow.